Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to day 5 of 30 Days of Sketches, round 9. Today's sketch is from Amy Cattenbelt for Spoonful of Scraps. And I had some fun with this sketch. I just have this photo of Noah, and he is laying on my bed with one of our cats. That is our little Siamese, who is our indoor-outdoor cat, and he is... he's not as sweet as he looks, but it is a rare moment that he will just lay there and let somebody hang out with him, and so I wanted to capture that, and um, I, I just thought it was a sweet picture. So um, I decided to use this paper. The orange paper, or yellowy orange paper, is from Cocoa Vanilla Studio Legendary, and I believe the other paper is wood grain on one side, and then they're like wood grain stars, and I want to say it's from Moda Scrap, but I could be wrong on that. It came in a kit that I got. Uh, it's an older kit, so I'm not 100% sure. So I am inking up everything with some Distress ink in Black Soot, and I'm liking the way that that is looking. I am going to follow the sketch fairly closely with regard to where the photo is and the paper placement, and then beyond that, it's not exactly how the sketch looks, but that's okay. You know, that's what a sketch is for. It's just a place to start, and that's what I did. I started with these, with exactly what they've got there. I didn't do any measuring for those blocks of paper. I just kind of looked at it and said, okay, the top one is really narrow, the bottom one is wide, the ones in between are kind of in between, and that's what I went with. But then I did end up switching up so that my largest block is the second from the bottom, and I kind of like how that looks, so that's what I decided to go with. So I'm just using my ATG gun to go ahead and adhere all of these, and I am lining them up with my T-square ruler. The very first one at the bottom I lined up with my centering ruler so that I could get them centered on the page, and then beyond that I went ahead and used my T-square ruler to get them so that they were not tilted at all, or falling off, or falling downward or upward for that matter. I just wanted them nice and level, and so that's why I went ahead and did that. And that, that's a great tool to have in your kit, because it's really inexpensive. I think they're like under $5 for 2 of them or something ridiculous. I don't know. They're really inexpensive, and so very handy to have. So then I just started kind of going through some stuff that I had in my stash, and I had that little yellow banner piece that's currently sitting on top of the photo, and it says sweater weather on it, I believe, or maybe it says cuddle weather, snuggle weather, I don't know. It's one of those 3 things, and I thought that was cute. I think it actually does say snuggle weather. I don't think it says sweater, but I thought it was really cute just because they are kind of snuggled up on the bed, even though they're not snuggled together. I think if Noah tried to actually snuggle this kitty, the kitty would have like taken off. He's not a scratcher. He doesn't like retaliate. He just darts, and he would have left the room. So it was very wise of Noah just to kind of just lay there and enjoy the peaceful moment. He is learning. He's around our cats a lot more now, and so he is learning to be quieter and more relaxed when the cats are around, and then they come out and see him. Otherwise, if he's his little wild noisy self, they all hide and they don't want anything to do with him. So he is learning that, and I think it's kind of good for him to be respectful of the cats and what they want as well. So I had that round piece. It looks like a little mandala or something like that, but to me it kind of had the look of a dream catcher, and so I am creating my own little dream catcher out of it. These feather dies I have, I'm not sure where they're from actually, but there's 3 little feather dies, and I thought they were perfect to go ahead and create this little dream catcher, and I'm just using some embroidery floss and a needle, and I'm attaching them to the bottom of this mandala looking circular piece. And I really like the way that it comes out. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to like it or if it was going to look like anything that I really wanted it to look like when I started. But it does look really good at the end, and I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. So I was pleasantly surprised. The other thing was I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get them all on my strings like the right length. I don't know. This is something like I struggle with, making sure they're all the right length or that they lay properly. So I'm pretty pleased with it anyway. You get the point. This is not something that comes second nature to me. I kind of fiddle around with it quite a bit until I get it where I'm happy. Trying to get the knots properly tied so that they don't come apart, and there's probably a much easier way to do it. I'm probably making it much more difficult than it really is, but that is what I am doing. That's kind of like my thing, making it more difficult than it really should be. The round little black thing there is a mouse pad. It is foam, so that allows me to actually pierce the paper without, having the paper like you're not hitting your desk or anything like that. It just is a nice, easy way to pierce your paper. So then I am going to pop these little feathers up onto some foam. The mandala piece is also going to be popped up onto some foam just to give some added dimension. And that is pretty much going to do it for that little area. And I'm pretty happy with the way that kind of sits there. While I work on that, I will remind you that this is a hop we are doing every day for the month of March. Well, the first 30 days of March. And we are actually having an additional hop on the 31st. So there are going to be hops every day this month that I am participating in anyway. And so I highly recommend you check out everyone else who is playing along. We are all working from the same sketch, and there's bound to be all kinds of different interpretations of it. So go and check out the others that are playing along. All of the links are down below in my description box to all of the YouTube channels that are participating. So, or at least everybody who is participating every day. So go and check those out and leave them some love, and definitely leave some love for Christy over at Christy's Beautiful Life for putting this together. She does it, I think, 3 times a year, and it's always a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. So go and leave her a little bit of love. We also do have some prompts that Adam over at Dottie About Flair has put out for each day as well. And I actually did not see the prompts until after I had started all of my layouts. So I don't know that most of mine even fit any of the prompts, but it was just something that you could do if you wanted. So go and check out those prompts as well. They are in the Facebook group for the 30 days of sketches, and that link is down below for you as well. So here I'm going to go ahead and cut out a few more of those feathers, and I'm going to tuck them into the little embellishment areas that I have created. I have a little label on the right hand side. I'm not going to add a ton of journaling to this layout just because it's just a sweet moment. There's not a whole lot really to be said about it other than what I've already told you. And so I will just go ahead and make a little notation of how Noah is learning to coexist with the cats, and so that they will allow him to hang out with them when he wants to. So I am adding some stitching to each of my other 2 embellishment areas because I do have the embroidery floss up in that top area. I wanted to bring it into the other areas, and so I thought this would be a good way to do it, bringing that same color and texture down to the opposite areas that are going to have a little bit of embellishment. I'm not adding a ton of embellishment here, just a little bit, and I really like the way that it turns out. I'm just trying to figure out where I want that the additional stitching on this right hand side of the photograph, trying to be sure before I go ahead and poke some holes in it. The little orange tool that is sitting on top of my sidekick plate is a piercing tool. It is one from Amy Tangerine. You could use a push pin. You could use pretty much anything that is pokey, as long as you have a good way to receive it underneath. Like I said, the foam pad works really well. If you don't have that, even just some foam tape would work well. And honestly, the tip of my tweezers is probably sharp enough to do the job as well. Now the little purple tool that you see there, I call that my pokey tool. It's not a piercing tool. It's not as sharp as a piercing tool, and the little wire on it is somewhat flexible, but I use that to poke the dies out of the metal, or the paper out of the metal when you do a die, cut a die. When you run your paper through the die cut machine and the paper gets stuck in the die, I use that to poke it out. And it is actually a quilting tool. It is not a scrapbooking tool at all. And I use it for that all the time. I have friends that also use it to put like in the top of their glue to keep the glue from clogging up and that kind of stuff. So now that I've got my feathers down, I am putting a little bit of foam tape underneath them to just kind of pop them up a little bit. And I'm liking how that's looking. Just giving a little bit of added dimension to the whole look. And then I decided that it needed something more, and this might not have been the best decision, but I decided to peel back some of the paper on each edge, and then I'm going to tuck some of the yellow and a little bit of blue underneath there. And I chose the blue because it's just a darker shade of the blue leaves, feathers that are on there, and so that's why I decided to bring in a little bit more of the blue. I don't dislike the way that this looks, but I do like the way that it looked before I ripped into it a little bit better, if that makes any sense. So I don't go back and change it. I didn't undo anything. I just kind of left it at the end. But if I had it to do over again, I might not have ripped those little pieces out. And I'm not sure what prompted me to do it. I think I was just kind of like on a roll and just kept going and thought, well, it doesn't look quite done. Doesn't look like it has enough stuff on there, especially for me. I mean, I'm used to putting quite a bit more on there. And so I thought I would do something a little different. And it's not terrible, but it's not my favorite. So yeah. I do like the layout at the end of the day, like I said, but I did like it a little bit more before I did that. So something to think about, is it worth taking it apart? Probably not. It is a story told and it's going in the album. And I always say that a layout's not done until I like it. And I do like it. It's just I don't like it as much. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check out everyone else who's playing along and give them a little bit of love as well. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, I'd really, really appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe as well. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.